Hey guys, what's up? Murder of Birds here. Welcome back to the channel. So we are jumping in immediately to the next episode of Beastars with Season 1, Episode 9. Last chapter, Legacy was very much caught up in his emotions. He was caught up in his mindset of everything that he's been struggling with since the show has started, whether it's him being a carnivore amongst herbivores, kind of acting like a herbivore, not really kind of being the person that he can be in terms of potential, and the start of this episode was very evident of that, or last episode I should say, very evident of that, based on the fact that he was kind of like caught up in himself. Very awkward scenario and situation of wanting to confess his affection, his feelings for Haru, and the fact that he likes her, he loves her, he even says, but obviously that being conflicted with not knowing how she feels about everything, and the interaction that she had with Rui in the previous episode that kind of set him off, which I thought he was going to get way more aggressive with Rui than he actually did, which I guess it worked out for the deer than anything. But yeah, like the starting part of the episode really kind of conveys the fact that he pushes to and fro with two sides of himself, and I like how Haru emphasized, like, you can either be a sensitive wolf or you can be a thick-skinned, like, alpha male wolf, but you can't be both, because it's super conflicting. You're kind of sending mixed signals. Do you want to be friends? Do you want to be more? It's almost kind of like, are you a dominant individual or are you a submissive individual? Are you an alpha or are you a beta? That's kind of like the mind, like in the animal kingdom, you know what I mean? It's either you're the dominant alpha male or you're the beta and you kind of follow the dominant forces out there. So, that was pretty much what Legacy was mostly conflicted in dealing with for the most part. The end of the episode broke my heart to the fact that this guy's been taking everybody else's advice. He's been doing what everybody else tells of him, whether it's go and find your own species or act more like a wolf, this, that, and the other, and not really allowing himself to kind of give in to the feelings that he's feeling. Everyone's saying, oh, the feelings that you have, they're kind of just a disguise to get close to your prey so you can have what you want and, become a criminal or whatever the case might be, like that psychotherapist was saying, the panda dude. But I felt terrible. I felt awful for him. I've definitely been in a situation where I've been on both ends of the situation where I had feelings for someone and I tell them how I feel and they don't feel the same way. And it's kind of like, oh, well, great. Now I look like an idiot. And, I have, I'm super insecure and I feel bad about myself and like feel like I'm not good enough or whatever. And I've been on the opposite end of it where I've had feelings for someone and I don't tell them because I find out that they either like somebody else or they're already in a relationship, and it's kind of like, but in this case, like, Legacy he's always been like super optimistic of everything, and despite the context clues and the things that he's picking up on, like, oh, he knows Haru's name, oh, he keeps her company, oh, they're kind of acquaintances, and then the fact that she's smiling for him in a certain way and being affectionate to Rui in a certain way that he's always wanted to be able to have with her. It was just kind of like a gut punch when she kind of was like, the first person she thought to for protection was Rui, and that it's pretty much self-explanatory of why that's the case, because she has somewhat feelings for him, even though there's kind of like this ridiculous, love square going on with the fact that, like I said, Legacy has a thing for Haru, Haru has a thing for Rui, Rui has like his own future plans set out with a fiance choice for him down the road. Meanwhile, you have Juno, who has a thing for Legacy, and she popped off in this episode too, because a significant middle section of the episode was kind of like established with setting up like the fact that this girl isn't like the damsel in distress like when we first saw her, where she like basically was like Legacy was like, oh, that's my sister, you know what I mean, basically protecting her from these other students that were picking on her or whatever. And like even when we were introduced to her and Legacy in the like the dance hall or whatever you want to call it, like the practice room or whatever, she kind of just gave off this impression about herself that she was kind of like head over heels, swooning in love, helplessly romantically in love with Legacy. But then we see her interaction with Rui and it's kind of like, holy shit, like she's got a whole other side to her, a very ambitious and aggressive, I don't want to say greedy, maybe greedy, I would say more so on the ambitious side, because she says, I will be Beastar. I will be the person that people look to. I will create a positive, peaceful future for carnivores, and I will have Legacy at the end of it all. And that's another thing too. I want to backpedal really quick and talk about the fact that, she says she wants to create a peaceful future for carnivores, and it's kind of like carnivores are instantaneously in the real world, like outside of Cherryton High School, they are they're kind of under constant scrutiny of the fact that Legacy was just kind of having an altercation with Haru, but for the general public, it was like, well, first off, there are all of these murders that are going on right now. Carnivores are kind of going ape shit, killing, killing herbivores and stuff like that. It started with Tem, so it was at the school, and then there was one murder that was kind of going on, and now it's kind of like a sporadic incidents that are happening. So there's like a serial carnivore eater going around killing all these other herbivores that are just kind of living their life. And so he's already putting himself in a bad light, and then on top of that, you can just be arrested just on the grounds of being a carnivore and causing a scene. You know what I mean? And it's already like not a good look for them. They also need permits when they go out. I think the carnivores specifically need permits. And again, it's just because of the fact that herbivores aren't going to kill each other. Carnivores aren't going to kill other carnivores. They're going to kill their prey. And so, like, that's where you get into the whole philosophy of, like, learning mutual understanding amongst, different species, like the lecture at the first episode. So there's, like, a ton of shit going on in the real world, like a lot of world building that's set up in that regard that I really appreciate. And then, again, you get into the third act where you actually see some of these students that are protecting their own, that, they're protecting their classmates because the lights at the festival go out. Everyone's like, yo, there's these killings that are going on. We need to protect them. They were protecting Else and, some of the other carnivores that were there. And the first thing I thought of was like, well, where's Haru? I thought Rui would have been with her, but he wasn't even there too. Like, he wasn't around to keep her safe. So, again, I kind of felt heartbroken to the degree that, like, the thing is, too, she doesn't know how Legacy feels about her. So it's not even the fact that she's, like, toying with his emotions or, you know what I mean? Like, she kind of, like, outed herself by doing that because the previous encounter where she was in the room and her and, like, Rui just went at it and he was leaving and then Legacy was at the door, it's like, oh, shit, we can't let Legacy know what's going on between us. But solely based on the fact that he had that context. He saw how they were treating each other, like he was patting her head at the festival and she was giving him that smile of like, she's basically enamored with him. And the fact that the first person she thought that would have come to her rescue was Legacy. It just broke my heart too because he had that smile that was clearly fake and forced and a defense mechanism to protect himself from the fact that it wasn't going to work out with her. So I don't know where he's going to be mentally going into these next few episodes with Haru, how he's going to treat her, how he's going to be around her, and especially Rui, he's probably got like daggers for eyes with Rui the next time he sees him based on everything that's been going on. And he's a wolf and he clearly wants something, and now he's being kind of fed into the fact that, like, you can't have what you want, just like Juno can't have what she wants. And Juno was tailing him the entire time, and she now knows his little secret of the wolf and the rabbit. And I don't know how she's gonna feel about that, because as of right now, Haru isn't reciprocating feelings, but if she starts to, that can spell trouble for her, because the last episode proved that Juno can be a threat if she wants to be. So with all of that said, I'm super excited to get into this next batch of episodes, this next episode in particular. I hope you guys are as well. But overall, I really appreciate all the support you guys are showing for these videos on YouTube and especially on Patreon for early access. But with all that said, we're going to be getting into the next episode, Beastars Season 1, Episode 9. Let us begin. Alrighty, so I'm actually going to be skipping the intro like immediately and just getting into it. So into the Lion's Den, we're going to be starting in 3, 2, 1, now. All right, here we go. What's your number? What is this? Who's getting wrecked? Oh, what the fuck? What the hell? What the fuck? Was he about to get butchered up? What the f— Oh, that's a nice room he's got. Oh, bid number 4. Oh, that's what triggered his nightmare. Oh, what the hell? Wait! Was he like livestock? Cause like I would think that like that's a number that they imprint on you, and then like eventually you're gonna be sold off to like a butcher's market or something like that, and then you're gonna be turned into food. I think that's what it was. Maybe he like narrowly escaped being killed off, because like that knife kind of reminds me of like a butcher shop or something like that. Like because when you go to like a meat shop, like you pull a slip and then they call a number and then you go up and you ask what meat you want. That's what I'm thinking about. All right. Oh no! Yeah, it is. Before they eat you. Item number. I was 5 years old. Yeah, the black market! Oh, come on. Is that like his friend or his family or something? Who is this talking? Whoa. Wait, did he get bought in like into the family because of that? Because of his freaking wow. He was literally bought into a family. Another deer too. What the fuck? This is a pretty neat animation style to convey a flashback. Damn, he put his ass through the ringer. Wow. What kind of child you trying to raise, dude? This is eerie as fuck. Protect yourself. Yeah, he had to survive. Where the fuck are they, by the way? Jesus. That's the family that he's gonna be, that he's like wed off to engage in. I believe you can change the world. Yeah, you're gonna bring him up in a world, Beastar, be the people's champion and everything. Damn, bro, we're getting Rui's entire backstory. That's your mission. Oh, that's where he got his name. Wow. Oh my fucking god. Hold up. I gotta pause. What an incredible level of conviction he had to have for that. To know what it's like to be a pig to the slaughter. To be preyed upon. To have no way out. And he used that strength. He used that sadness. He used that struggle as strength to change the world for someone like Tem who didn't get that opportunity. Whose life was cut short because of these fucking carnivores. What a shitty past, though. So, like, this entire life that he was put into was based on the man who bought him, saved him from the slaughter initially, and then kind of threw his ass into, like, the ringer, like, literally out of the frying pan into the fire, quite literally from that animation, to, like, see how he would fare, you know, in a life or death situation. And obviously he's a kid, traumatized, weak, inexperienced, and he gave him a shot at life. He gave him a shot and gave him a name, gave him a home, gave him a future. And I really like Rui. Holy shit, dude. I still don't like how he's fucking around with, like, Haru and stuff like that, and he's pushing Legacy around. Maybe that's why. Because when you think about his past, it kind of contextualizes why he came from, like, a weak nothingness of a past, and then he looks at someone like Legacy, who has the potential to be anything that he wants, a carnivore in this top dog world. You're kind of, like, already privileged just by the virtue of being a wolf compared to being a sheep or a deer or, you know, a rabbit or something like that. So I can understand so well why he feels such strong emotions for, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I can understand why he would be so passionate about being upset that Legacy chooses to live a life of a herbivore, because you don't know what that struggle is like. And we just saw it firsthand. So it kind of reinforces, it reinforces like everything about Rui that we've known about him so far. And despite his external demeanor, despite how he might be with someone like Haru, and whatever the future has in store for him, like with his family and his, you know, his fiance and what he's meant to do in the future, I have to respect him for the struggle that he goes through, the fact that people look up to him, and it's his greater vow to change the world for people like him and for herbivores, I think, overall. So, what a powerful way to start the episode. 3 months! The murderer hasn't even been talked about, let alone caught. Yeah. It's so... He's putting the pieces together. Like, it's not... He even had her scent on him. Aw, he's looking at Tem for advice. Oh! He booked it! I respect you so much, Rui. I respect you so much, man. Oh! Oh, you good? Hello? Whoa! What the fuck? What is he doing? Bro. Since... Legacy, talk to him! Wow. Carnivores, rise up. Oh my god, this shit just got political! Yo, they literally don't want Rue to be a Beastar because that's like a one-up for the herbivores. I thought he was literally about to kill Rui right then and there. Like, what the fuck? He had his teeth out and everything. Shit. Legacy, chill, dude. This is like the hard thing. You kind of just have to let it be. There really is. He's the model individual, dude. Oh! They're out for blood. Wow, Legacy's gonna protect the herbivores, dude, no matter what. What the fuck? They got a hit out from my boy Rui. And now we have Haru again. And Legacy. Hold on, let me pause real quick. I do have to say that is like, that is the mature thing to do. You don't want to like wallow in like resent the person that you once had feelings for because they don't feel that way for you. You also don't want to be like a complete dickhead or an asshole or whatever, all the above, to somebody else who, like, he's kind of like on the outside looking in. He's the third party. He's the wild card. And so I think that it's more admirable. It shows more of Legacy's character, that he would much rather protect someone that is seen as like a road, like, because it would be super easy for him to be like, oh, carnivores want to take out Rui? Yo, that lines me up for Haru. Perfect. Easy clap, boys. But I think there is a lot to be said about the maturity, the integrity, and just the good-hearted nature of him, to the point where he's like, I need to protect him because he is ultimately what's best for everyone. And these carnivores are out here kind of like, I understand carnivores get a bad rap in the public eye. And Juno also is probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Juno. I don't know if Juno would, because Juno does have it out for Rui as well, that she's gonna become a Beastar. So you already have basically, you have the herbivore top candidate, and you got someone like Juno for the carnivores. So I just don't know who's orchestrating this whole carnivore rally to kind of take Rui out of the picture, but obviously it doesn't bode well for him. So I appreciate more than anything the fact that Legacy wants to protect him, and subsequently, you know, the stability of the world, or, you know, whatever a Beastar's influences. Oh, is he gonna tell her, be like, hey, I have feelings for you, but I understand that you don't feel the same way? Are you gonna tell her? Are you gonna tell her? Oh! Oh no! She knew! She fucking knew! She cut him off. She just knows that it's not. Okay, come on now. Hear him out at least. There you go. There you go. You gotta look out for each other, yeah. Ah, Legacy, my boy! Oh my god. Oh, he's gonna tell her. Is he gonna tell her his secret? Yo, he's so tall compared to her. Jesus Christ. That's how you know he means it. Stressed out by a guy? Maybe that's a good thing. I mean, at least your emotions are there. Oh! Whoa! Hello? Bro, these carnivores are acting up! What the fuck? She just got yoinked in freaking broad daylight. Dude, did they take her because they know that Rui has a thing with her? I can definitely see one of the students just offing Tem now. If they're acting up like this. Shishigumi. Shishigumi, who is that? Don't ask, don't tell. Oh! Hold up. I don't trust the mayor. The mayor is hella sus, dude. And he's a carnivore. I could have sworn... Pause. I could have sworn... Hold on, I'm gonna back up real quick. I could have sworn the... Hold on, right here. Hold on. I literally could have sworn the back of that carnivore was literally the mayor. Hold on, hold on. Right there. Okay, I don't know. That kind of looks like it. That looks like a lion, like the back of the mayor's head. Yeah, so like even now right here, the mayor's like going back in the back of this hut. He looks hella sus, bro. I won't let the lame organization destroy what I've built. Ah! I fucking knew it. I knew it, dude. I was sussing. I was like, a mayor that's a carnivore? How could that be politically charged at all? And it's with a freaking herbivore of all things, regarding a herbivore. And now Legacy knows! Yo, who are these freaking goons? Snow White from head to toe? It has to be the mayor, right? Oh, it looks like the mayor. It's like a... The fuck? These guys look... They don't look like student... Oh! Yo, music's popping off, though. Yo, chill out, my guy. Jesus Christ. It's like a freaking gangsters or some shit. Oh. These are all lions, too. What the fuck? It's like a pride. I don't even know if I should trust this guy. He might be older, but, like, I don't know. He seems like the ringleader. Is this Shishigumi? Alright, I kind of respect him a little bit, just based on the fact he's, like, treating her with courtesy, but... Oh, never mind. Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. Yo. Legacy needs to get in here and fuck these guys up. This is so fucked, dude. I mean, you're basically assaulting her right now. Okay, someone needs to fucking find and save her. Otherwise, she's literally lion lunch. Rui, where the fuck have you been this whole time, dude? I mean, I know you went to go see Tem, but Jesus. I feel like this lion is also a part of that pack, but he's kind of like a stand-in. He's like, okay, I have all of the public persona and like the public, like I'm the one that kind of gives the carnivores a good what's the word I'm looking for? He basically gives the carnivores like a good reputation in the public eye, and then you have like these goons who kind of like do whatever the fuck they want, and like I don't know, he's just trying to look out for his kind. See, this is the type of shit that Rui has to change. But if he's not strong enough... Jesus. All to become a mayor. Yeah, you, God, dude, you fucking bought your way to the top. Oh! Oh! Bro, you're blackmailing him? Are you fucking serious? Wow, that's so fucked, bro. His hands are tied. He can't. What a corrupt piece of shit. I'm so glad I sussed this guy out from the fucking beginning. To be a herbivore in a carnivore's world. Fuck this guy. Yeah, now Legacy's gonna be even more pissed off that you didn't protect her twice. Oh. Yeah, he knows. And he has to. He has to, dude. Legacy wouldn't understand. Whoa! What the fuck? Bro, that is not a good idea for you to do. I understand what he's coming from though. But his hands are tied. He can't do anything. I really hope this facade, I really hope they're able to talk about this after, because right now he's making himself look like a real piece of shit. And the wolf is born. Oh my god. Oh! Yeah, that's a long time coming right there, dude. Okay, you two just, you know what, just fucking brawl it out. Mano y mano. Can no longer rely on you. Holy fuck. Oh! Hey! There's your declaration right there. Shit. Holy shit, dude. That shit just popped the fuck off. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh shit, the wolf is finally born. I'm so excited to see where this goes, man. I literally cannot stress how good this episode was. I think episode 9 of season 1 is my favorite episode thus far. It had so many elements, it had so many like themes brought into it. We got Rui's backstory. We have like this kind of internal beef with the carnivores of Cherryton High and how they view Rui as a herbivore who has a very good chance of being a Beastar and changing the world for herbivores and making things difficult for carnivores. We have Legacy kind of coming to terms with his thoughts about his feelings for Haru, though they might be unrequited. He doesn't want to go the route of ruining or damaging the relationship that she has if she does care for someone like Rui, and he kind of reinforces that he has to protect someone like Rui to make sure he does become a Beastar, because he is ultimately the best thing for the world in general. And then they just crank it up to 11. Haru gets yoinked in freaking broad daylight by the Lion Gang, you know, like freaking Animal Crossing gone wrong. And like it just kind of accelerates from there. I have no idea what the next episode's gonna be. Like Legacy and Haru kind of like traded blows at the end. Legacy's like, fuck you, Rui, you can be smart and kind of make it through the world in your own sort of, you know, clever way, but I'm gonna return that to you by saying the girl that you're messing around with will be mine once everything is said and done. I think this is my favorite episode of season 1. They introduced the political, like corrupt political influence of the mayor and like his prestige and what he's done for carnivores like lions and stuff like that. And he kind of introduces like, hey, Rui, you either play ball or we'll find someone to play ball for us. And, you know, it would be a shame if something, you know, if things didn't go your way because of this whole, you know, black market origin story that you got going on. It contextualizes so much of how Rui presents himself, why he's so like aggressive against someone like Legacy, who is pretty privileged in this world, but chooses to kind of live the life of the oppressed, which makes no sense to him, because I feel like if he could, he would reverse his roles. He would prefer to be a carnivore because they're kind of top dog. But I wrote a sizable amount of notes here on my tablet, and me and my girlfriend also had a very interesting conversation about this episode because she's almost done with season 2, so I'm playing catch up, and we had it was great to actually be able to talk about it with her and just kind of express my thoughts overall, because this was such a thought-provoking episode from all different points. And I think the episode was kind of going like, it was very stop go. Like the intro of Rui's backstory was just kind of like, okay, I need to process all this, and then it took it down a notch with Legacy and, you know, Rui and the leopard in the hallway, and then it kind of cranked it up again with the lions, and then, you know, now we're kind of like, we're on the freaking hype train and we don't know where it's going. So watching the episode a second time allowed me to kind of gather my thoughts more properly. I also picked up on things that I definitely missed out on in the first reaction, so hopefully that didn't upset too many people who like wanted me to be attentive, but that's just how things go. That's why we rewatch things here. That's why I take notes and I come back with a more informed viewpoint on the episode, so I know where we're going moving into the next one. So obviously, starting out from the very top, Rui's backstory, potentially his secret revealed of him being raised as, you know, a slaughter for carnivores on the black market. Number 4 reminded me, and I said it in my reaction, reminds me of like the day-to-day goings of people going to the deli, picking a slip, and then they call your number, you ask what meat you want, they pack it for you, and you move on with your life. And in his case, it was very life or death. I like how the episode started when they were like, where's number 4? Did you lose it? Because at that point, he had already been bought and sold off to the herbivore adult that saw that potential in him. But just seeing that he couldn't read, he couldn't write, he was a herbivore meant to be sold off on the black market and eaten by carnivores, he's already at the lowest point in his life. He was bought on the grounds of the fight that he had to protect the other person, to protect his friend that was also in the same situation as him, and he got the opportunity. I assume his friend got eaten off or whatever, but he had that opportunity to prove himself. And even when he proved himself, I think the guy threw him in a room with a bunch of carnivores and was like, here's a sword, here's a knife, protect yourself. And he would rather kill himself than be eaten. So even then he was kind of very weak and gentle hearted. And, you know, it's kind of sad to kind of look upon that and just be like, shit, man, like you have a really shitty life for yourself. Like, and this guy just kind of took him out of a bad situation, and gave him a sense of purpose. Like, you have the ability to change the world. I can't have kids. I don't know if he was sterile or whatever, but he basically kind of like took it onto himself to raise Rui to be the change in the world that he wanted for herbivores or whatever. And Rui grew up with that goal in mind. And I think that's reinforced with how he thought of Tem. And he goes and vows constantly to change the world for herbivores, I think, like Tem, who are in a situation that he was in when he was young, which is like, you will always be considered prey to these people, and if you slip up, you're gonna get caught slipping. And you know, and it sucks because it could be in broad daylight like Haru, it could be in a classroom by one of your own classmates, and you never really know what's gonna happen. I don't really know what it means to be a Beastar necessarily. I assume, based on how they've expressed it in the episode, like in the previous episodes, based on how Juno mentioned it to Rui and how like Rui and everybody else like is perceiving it in this episode, I assume it's somewhat of a political or world leader who has like mass influence to change the public perception of herbivores, carnivores, way of life, etc., etc. So if a herbivore becomes Beastar, herbivores will have a better livelihood because obviously that's who they're representing. If it's a carnivore like Juno, she wants to make things peaceful for her people or for her kind, or, you know, the people that are carnivores very much aligned with her. So it feels like a representative of the people, but it seems to also be, it seems to almost like apply post graduation. So like you get elected by your peers or by the city or whatever the case might be. It almost feels like a scholarship to me, and then you kind of go on to do bigger and better things in the political world, if you will. So I do like how he's trying to make the world a better place for herbivores in general, and he's not like doing it out of spite of carnivores, like fuck these carnivores, I'm gonna look out for me and mine and make it better for us and worse for them. Like that one cheetah jaguar dude was like, oh, if he becomes Beastar, things are gonna be a lot worse for us herbivores. But in reality, it's like, well, no, he doesn't seem like that type of person. If anything, he probably just wants to have a world where it's a live and let live. And he doesn't want his kind or himself or people like him or people that remind him of his past to be subjected and preyed upon. So I think his past contextualizes so much about him, and I feel like every couple episodes it kind of reinforces my appreciation for Rui as a character. More so than anything, how he feels about Legacy, because it's like, bro, you are the epitome of strength and confidence and privilege in this world, and it fucking makes me sick to my stomach to know that I have to struggle and I have to grind and I have to make a name for myself. I gotta puff out my chest and pretend to be somebody that I'm not, whereas I have to watch you have all of that potential and you just don't do anything with it. So and then even at the end of the episode, he's like, yo, you talk to me about lies and deceit. You fucking deceive and lie about yourself more than anything else. You got all this power and all this strength, and what do? You act like a little bitch and you act like a herbivore instead of like being the person in this world of some type of influence, being a wolf, being a carnivore, if you will, or being, you know, basically just being anything but prey to the average carnivore in the world. So I think it contextualizes and gives me so much more understanding for Rui as a character, where he came from, the goals that he has in mind, how he treats other people, and the effort that he's gone to be a model, a role model for others, a stand-up individual, and someone that has to play ball if he wants to get ahead in the world. And it sucks because he's also a slave to that. But I did love the introduction more than anything. From that, we go to the scene with Legacy in the hallways, kind of thinking on everything regarding his feelings for Haru, how she feels about Rui, coming to the understanding that there's a thing between them two, and he kind of gets swept up by the fact that, like, Rui's in the area, and then the Jaguar dude kind of, like, was about to attack him, and it pretty much devolved into revealing an us versus them mentality amongst the students of the school, the carnivores, some carnivores who are just very, like, envious, jealous, and feel threatened by the fact that somebody like Rui has a chance to become a political or an influential world leader, title of Beastar to change the world and make things better for herbivores and worse for carnivores. It's not to say that carnivores have it, like, completely bad, but they're definitely... There's a lot of prejudice that goes on in the world in regards to carnivores than anything. These deaths that are going around aren't doing much for them. If you act up in public, that you're kind of guilty until proven innocent. You know what I mean? You're guilty by association if you're causing a ruckus with people. And it's just not a good look in the public eye for carnivores. And it's very interesting because, like, I'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to the mayor. But yeah, obviously, there's a bunch of predators that are going after Rui for his position of Beastar, and it's causing a lot of tension in the school, to where Legacy feels that he has to put his love or his feelings aside for someone like Haru, because he feels in his heart that there's no better person for the title, there's no better person for the job of Beastar than Rui, and he has to protect him because he has a target on his back. And I mentioned it in the reaction too, but I think that's very admirable. I'm not saying that Legacy is the type of person to hold a grudge or to, necessarily, be vindictive and spiteful. But it's very easy to devolve to that, I think, if you feel like your feelings aren't appreciated, or they're not validated, or they're not respected, or if you feel like, you're inadequate, or someone didn't give you a chance, and you'd lash out at them. I feel like that's a very understandable, it's not always a justifiable reason, but, like, it's an understandable emotional response to being rejected or feeling like you're not good enough or whatever the case might be. But I like how he reverted to, I want to preserve what they have, and I want to make sure that, he just wants the best for these people, despite the fact that things didn't go his way. So again, it just kind of reinforces Legacy, who he is as a character, what he values out of others, and not really just thinking about himself. So I just like that he's being honest with himself, with everything else, wanting to seek out Haru, and despite the fact of knowing that she won't return those feelings, he just wants to get it out there. He wants to express, hey, I want to be honest. I want to tell you how I feel. I don't know if he's going to tell her that it was him that attacked her that night. But if he ends up revealing that as well, he doesn't want anything to be damaged. He just wants to know moving forward that they can still be friends. that, you know, things aren't going to change, but for him, he wants to just be honest with himself. So I definitely appreciated that, because, you know, Haru felt very flustered, conflicted. I don't know. And she even said, she's like, I've never been stressed out by a guy like this in a while. So there might be some underlying emotions there, because I have a feeling that she might end up falling for him if he's the type of person that is willing to, you know, cause problems, get into trouble, you know, cause harm here and there, to fight for her. Whereas, you know, Rui, he's already kind of made his bed, no pun intended, but he's made his bed of like, this is a passing fling. This is something casual that I'm just doing. I already have things lined up for me in the future. You understand that. And even now, he has to play ball to kind of maintain the goals that he wants in the future. And that does mean, you know, giving up Haru, which at this point, it's a life or death situation. It baffles me that she got yoinked in broad daylight. It baffles me even further, the amount of assaults that happen in this show. Tem gets killed on school grounds. Bill and Legacy literally have an all-out brawl to the point where they're able to pass it off as just, it's all a part of the act. It's all a part of the play. There was that one scene where Bill like scratched up Rui in the drama club area, and he's just straight up bleeding, and I'm like, bro, like these like I don't know if it was complete. I know it's all about, you know, segregation and all that. I know that that's not a good vibe overall, but like, I don't know if it was a good idea to really put some of these herbivores and carnivores in the same environment, because you're getting incidents, you're getting murder, death, people are just walking on eggshells constantly, and it's just ridiculous how commonplace it is. Maybe it's just like, you know, animals will be animals, you know, boys will be boys, animals will be animals, but I don't know. There's very little authority. There's very little, you know, just making sure that things go, like, are kind of, everything's contained, everyone's okay, everyone's good. It's like constant physical trauma going around left, right, and center. But yeah, Haru just gets yoinked by these lions, and I want to rescind a statement that I made during my reaction, and I want to kind of deliver it in a more informed manner. So I feel like it was a little discriminatory of me, and this is based on the conversation that me and my girlfriend had after I watched the episode, but I was like, I knew I should have sussing out the mayor day one was like a good call for me. I was like, I sussed him out from the beginning, and I feel kind of bad that I literally was just like, I'm sussing him because he's a carnivore. And like, obviously carnivores have a lot of have a bad rap. I feel like the show has conditioned me to believe, to feel like clearly a carnivore killed Tem, so I'm always going to suss out a carnivore. I'm never gonna look at like a freaking a deer and be like, oh, I gotta look out for this guy. You never know, it could have been him, or he could be the culprit. Not all carnivores are just instantly like should be labeled as like, you're the bad guy, but I'm sussing out a carnivore, period. And I guess I wasn't completely on the mark, because the what is it, Shishigumi, like it's like a gang of lions, like the Lion's Den. Into the Lion's Den was the name of the episode, so I guess it's just like the lion gang. And I was just like, wait a minute, they're lions, he's a lion, he's also just like, fuck them kids, like, I built up myself to be mayor, this is too much for me to handle, I'm not gonna let this ruin my reputation. Fuck that rabbit, you know, it is what it is. I'm just gonna turn a blind eye. I'm gonna hope these kids don't run their mouth off, and we'll try to get past this together. Yeah, so I just feel like I kind of jumped the gun a little bit right there by just immediately like sussing out a carnivore, specifically on the basis that he was a carnivore. But I also felt like it would have been an interesting twist, like the fucking person who's in charge, who's like the head of the city, is in on this whole thing going on. I just felt like that would have been an interesting dynamic. And while he's not a part of it, he's enabling it by just kind of brushing it under the rug. And I understand like this is probably like gang affiliated, and you know, it's obviously a problem to kind of bring like crack down on things like this, but to just be like, nah, we're good, we just, you know, you gotta lie, you gotta deceive, you gotta put on a fake persona to get ahead in the world. I feel like that's a little I don't know. It's just unsavory. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna have good vibes with the person, with the mayor, or with this gang in particular for how they treat people, or how they view their status compared to others. One thing that I will say, the lions that went and grabbed Haru, I literally wrote here DoorDash service. So they literally went and looked for dinner for like the head lion dude. I assume that's she, because like it had there was like a banner in the guy's room that said she, so I guess that's she from like Shishi gang or Shishigumi. So yeah, like they literally went out, they were like, oh, this is the rabbit, they're gonna be really tasty for the boss. And then the boss is like, strip down, get in the bathtub, I want to make sure my food is delicious and as exquisite as possible. So yeah, obviously all of them scumbag pieces of shit, and I can't believe I was just like, oh, this guy's kind of treating her with respect. He's asking her how she's feeling, how she's doing. I don't know why they decided, because like I didn't realize he was gonna eat her at that, because it kind of like went over my head. And then he was like, all right, get naked, and I'm like, oh, okay, I take back everything I just said, fuck this guy. And now she's kind of like petrified, frozen in fear, because her biggest fear is coming true. She even said like she could die at any minute, and she wants to find love. She wants to find someone to attach herself to care for her and to have those experiences, because you never know what's going to happen. And now she's probably like, this is what I was most afraid of, you know? Lions, you know, being in a lion's den, being like within killing distance of someone that has it out to like literally eat me. So yeah, like that entire situation, like I have a feeling obviously Legacy is going to hopefully find a way to get to her. I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't know who he's going to recruit. He's one dude. There's like 4 lines that they got to deal with. There's like fighting, life, death. They have like weapons and shit. So I don't know. I don't really know what he's going to do or how they're going to tackle this. I'm assuming she's going to get saved. There's a fucking season 2 for Christ's sake. But overall, I feel like the episode was a healthy dose of welcome to adulthood, kid, you know, where adults kind of get away with shit, crime and corruption run amok in the political world, in the streets, and you know, there's the black market, there's people eating other animals, and that's kind of the way the world works outside of the you know, the squeaky clean perspective of Cherryton High School. But yeah, I wrote here, it says, you gotta lie, deceive, and adapt to get ahead in the world. And the mayor even said it himself. He was like, when I went to university, or before I went to university, I replaced all of my fangs with dentures. I got plastic surgery to make my appearance seem more pleasant to the public. And I kind of created a good public image when it comes to lions. And I think that's why the Shishigumi gang kind of is getting away with stuff, because they're able to pass themselves off, because the mayor is, you know, putting on a front, like basically being like, I'm a good lion, so you should trust other good lions out there. And it's just kind of like a publicity stunt to kind of keep himself where he is politically and in a position of power. And it's even more fucked up that he's just like, yeah, so when you graduate high school, Rui, you're probably gonna want to be in a position of power. You have you have everything. You have what it takes to be Beastar, to be able to tackle the world in the way that you see fit. But I have your permanent record here, and it shows that you were once supposed to be a deer to the slaughter. So if you play your cards right, if you play ball with us, I'll make sure this goes away forever as reward to you. So he's also blackmailing, and I feel like it really made things difficult at the end of the episode, because he had to convince to himself that he didn't care, because if he did, he would screw everything up for himself, the plans that he wants for people like Tem in the future. And obviously Legacy's not going to understand that, because it's so nuanced. And then you get into the conflict of like, you know, he's being told off by Legacy, but then at the same time it's like, well, yeah, it's easy for you to say, you're going to say that I'm deceiving, that I'm lying, and this and that and the other, when you lie to yourself more than anybody else. So in a way, it kind of helped Legacy kind of awaken that part of him that has always been there. Like, they just fucking brawled it out right in the middle of everybody, and I feel like he's gonna have to tap into that if he's gonna be fighting up against some like actual thugs that can do some damage to him if he's not careful. So, you know, there's a lot of potential there. It's like what Rui said also. He was like, lies and deceit to maintain peace is inevitable. And I feel like that's true in the world. You know, ignorance is bliss. If we're told things to keep us at peace, you know, it's for the people who are making those calls, it's better than the alternative of chaos, anarchy, hysteria, panic, and everything else in between. But I do like how the last thing that I'll mention about the episode that I appreciated was how Rui responded to Legacy when he said, I'll make Haru mine, because he was like, what the fuck? Like, that's a declaration. He's like, you know, because it's very easy for Rui to kind of get comfortable. You know, he might say, yeah, I have a fiance planned for me in my future. You knew what this was supposed to be about. And it's easy to kind of get lost in the sauce and then eventually catch feelings. But now somebody else is like, oh, I'm going to actually take care of the person that you're taking for granted. I'm going to fight for them. I'm going to show how much I care about them. And it's a weird juxtaposition. Like, the dichotomy is interesting because in the previous episode, or a couple episodes ago, you know, Juno told Rui, I will make Legacy mine. And he was like, yeah, whatever. We'll see how far that goes. But then Legacy is like, I will make Haru mine. And he's actually shook. Like, he actually feels threatened by that, I think, because, you know, it's something that he has and he's about to lose. So, I don't even know if obviously he's not being truthful and honest with himself either. And I don't know where that's gonna go. I have a feeling like Legacy seems to be the main character of the series. I'm assuming he's gonna get the girl. I'm assuming he's gonna get what he's fighting for, and she's going to eventually fall for him because of how different he is and how much effort and energy he's putting into pursuing her. And I feel like that is going to create its own web of problems, with a wolf dating a rabbit and a female wolf being jealous of that rabbit because she wants the man that rabbit has. And that's going to create a whole other, you know, drama sequence. I don't know if that's addressed in season 2. I don't know how far Juno's influence goes in season 1. I don't know if we haven't seen her again since she had that scene with Rui. And then when she saw that, like, Legacy has a thing for a rabbit. So I don't know what she's doing behind the scenes either. But, yeah, and then she also wants to be Beastars, so that's another thing for Rui to deal with as well. You know, because he's already like, okay, I got to play ball if I want to be Beastar, and I have to, you know, clear out the competition. So there was a lot of things that went down in this episode that I really, really appreciated and enjoyed. I'm sorry if it felt like I was just bullet pointing through all of that. It is a lot to kind of get through, and this portion of the video is almost like half an hour long. But I think this was my favorite episode of season 1. We have episodes 10, 11, and 12 to get through for season 1. I'm gonna try to finish that up this weekend just so I can kind of get all the videos set up to kind of come out and see how you guys enjoy them. And following season 1, I look forward and I'm interested in checking out season 2. But I still have 3 more episodes to see how Haru gets saved, what happens as a result of that from her and her relationship with Rui, why Rui didn't save her, why it was Legacy that saved her. And everything else in between. But at this point, we're kind of cranking things up to 10, like 9, 10, and I feel like these next couple episodes are just going to keep things going consistently. But overall, those are my thoughts of the episode. I thought it was very engaging. I had a lot of great things that I wanted to talk about it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction for YouTube. I appreciate the support over on Patreon as well, for those of you who are enjoying this for early access. But yeah, that's everything. Those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, or, you know, anything that I had to mention in the comment section down below. But thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care.